Welcome to Jai Waves, guys. Today we're talking about these things.
This is going to be a comprehensive review.
My name is
Shut up!
So we're talking about camera backpacks, to be more specific. I think in this video what I want to cover is why you should buy a good backpack, or like how much should you actually spend on buying a camera backpack. That's the main thing that I actually want to focus on this video. I think for a rookie photographer or a videographer, camera bags are the most, how would I say, underrated things, and it's the kind of thing that creeps up when you least expect it, in the sense of how much you should spend when it comes to buying a camera bag. Naturally, when you're starting out, the thing that you want to spend most of your money is definitely going to be the camera gear, the lenses, all the accessories and stuff that's going to help you shoot, right? And then for me, at least, the natural thing to do was to, spend like as low as I can when it comes to the camera bag. So initially when I got into photography, I was thinking, okay, you know what, I'm going to spend about 10 grand or 10,000 Sri Lankan rupees on a camera bag, because usually for school and stuff like that, I would spend at most 5,000 rupees, and that's every other 2 years. So I've never been in the realm of spending more than 5 or 6 grand for a backpack. But then obviously I got into researching and looking into bags that I want and this and that. And I think in 2015, when I went to Malaysia, I decided, okay, you know what, this is a good opportunity for me to find a camera bag that I want to use and buy one. Because in Sri Lanka you can't find it. And then I decided I'm gonna spend about 15 to 20 grand on a camera backpack, and I did. So in Malaysia I got this Targus backpack. It's been with me since 2015. It's one of the best investments I've made. It's still like brand new. I've never thought about changing it, and the best thing about it was that it converts into a camera backpack, and when you don't need to carry your camera gear, you can take like the camera cube out, and you can use it as everyday bag. And that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years. I've been carrying this every day, 365 days a year, and it's literally been the best thing ever. So at that point I said, okay, you know what, if I am upgrading one day, I'd probably have to spend about 25 grand, 30 grand. 30 grand was the limit. Like I wasn't going to spend anything more than 30,000 Sri Lankan rupees. That was it. But then in 2018, I flew to America, San Francisco to be more specific. And I was like, and at that point that was the time in my career that I was, expanding, and I was buying new gear. I was upgrading my cameras. I was buying new lenses, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna separate a budget to buy a good, decent camera backpack. So I flew there, and I remember, looking up. There were plenty of options that was under 30 grand or a little over 30 grand. But when I went to this camera store, I remember seeing this one that I remember seeing this Mindshift backpack that I'm using currently. I think it's a sister company of Think Tank. I'm not quite sure. I saw it and I fell in love with it, simply because it had ample space inside. It had good padding, and it was slightly water resistant, and it had a rain cover, and I could also carry my laptop. And being able to carry your laptop is actually a key when you're a freelance videographer or a photographer, because you're always on the go. So I saw this, and I'm not a very seasoned traveler, so when it comes to dealing in dollars, it always makes you underestimate how much it actually is, or how much a dollar is actually worth until you convert the money. So I remember seeing this bag. It was around $230 or $240, and I was telling myself, you know what, I can go a little over my budget. And when I went to the counter, and the guy said, okay, it's $230. Obviously, me being the immature kid that I am, my ego got the better of me, and I was like, yeah, you know what, that's fair, or that's exactly how much I was planning on spending, and I just swiped my credit card like it was nothing. And I walked out of the store with this bag, I remember, and I converted the $240 on my phone. I remember I momentarily got shocked, and I stopped. I stopped on my tracks because he transferred it to 45,000 rupees. And I was like a little slightly upset that I let myself spend that much money on a bag. When I got home from that trip, I literally signed up for the worst freelance gig that you could ever imagine. It was literally a 3-day shoot through jungles, through leech infested areas. It was muddy and it was raining, and at that point I instantly was so thankful that I did buy that bag, because I'll try and insert a picture of what my workspace was. It was the back of a tiny Defender. It wasn't even like a comfortable space. It was all cramped up. All the gear was all over the place, and I was so glad that I had like a bag or like a place where I could keep my gear in, even without getting damaged. My laptop, my 3 cameras, my lenses, all my GoPros and accessories, everything was inside it. And if I had like a lesser bag, I would have definitely at least damaged something. And I'll be making a video about that shoot, because it was literally the worst job I've ever done. And even on the trip, there were like bags that were falling out of like the truck, because we were going through like undrivable, like 4-wheel drive off-road kind of roads, and bags were falling off the Jeep. Luckily mine didn't, because I held on to mine as much as I could, and I was so thankful. So at that moment, it dawned on me, what, I should separate a considerable amount of money or a considerable budget for the backpack, because it's such an important thing. It's where your gear lives. For me, all my cameras call my backpack, if it could speak, it would call it home. So I was thinking to myself, okay, what, if I add all the like how much everything I'm carrying in there costs, like I put down a list for you guys, approximately goes to about 1.3 million rupees, and that's all housed in this backpack. And I was thinking to myself, what, if I'm carrying that much gear, I should probably spend on a bag that will keep these things safe. So yeah, and that's how I ended up appreciating camera backpacks. And also, when you're spending money on stuff like this, just don't experiment that much. For me, again, this was a brand that I think was affiliated with Think Tank, and the stitching was really good. I mean, everything about this bag was really good. I could, hang out of a train with the backpack on my shoulders and not worry that the straps are gonna come off. They feel really safe. Guys, if you found this video entertaining, or if you found any useful information, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Facebook, if you're watching this on Facebook, then leave a like on the page. Yeah, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends and family. Maybe you could learn something out of these videos.